rid of their debt? Raise your hand. Anybody? All y'all should raise. So this is yours. When I start talking about debt, I need you to go raising the roof. There you go. All right. Who trying to get their money right? Who trying to get their money right? All right, I'm gonna get you right here. I gotta get some of y'all in the back. Who think that this? Now I gotta get a picture with this now. Frugal is the new what? Who's frugal in here? I messed that word up. Pass that back there. I'll keep this one up here, right here. This is Radford home. We'll give that to the first lady right there. All right, without further ado, it's national. The nation has deemed April as the financial literacy month for the United States. All right, I'm Gregory Radford, one half of Radford Home LLC. My beautiful wife is the other half, as you know. 30,000-foot snapshot. I'm going to be talking to you today about benefits. First, I'm going to talk to you about budget. Okay, you can't do nothing if you don't have a budget. The Department of the Defense, that's over all our armed forces, has a what? A budget. That's right. So if you don't have a budget, you're not starting off correctly. And if you don't have one, we're going to give you some tools to put in your tool bag so you can move forward as you continue to march with your budget. Next thing we're going to go over is there any veterans in the room? Raise your hand. If you're a veteran, stand up. Or raise your hand, stand up. If you're a veteran, let's give them a round of applause. All right. I'm going to be talking about veteran benefits. I am proficient and thorough when it comes to helping veterans with their benefits. Okay? I love to do research. Don't watch on TV. I like to read. I like a lot of audio books, and I like to do what I'm doing right here, bringing this to you. And I'm going to be bringing more of it. But I am proficient. If you need to see me after this or another time, get with me because I can help. I can help you out. And if I can't help you out, I surely can point you in the direction that someone can help you out. The next thing I'm going to be going over is credit. Who in here got a 740 credit score and higher? All y'all hands should go up. Don't listen. When I say 740 credit score and higher, all your hands should go up because after today, you're going to have the knowledge from what I'm going to give you to where we can get you to a 7. Your credit score is not a reflection of who you are at this time, but until you learn this information, then you can move forward and we can get that right. Okay? So think about that. I want you to know you can get one of these homes that Mr. Clifton is talking about in the east end of Bartow, and they're going to be on the west side. I have been blessed enough that I'm the first independent builder so far. Am I right, Mr. Lewis? The independent builder that's been there in the meetings besides another guy to get assistance from the government. We're going to build a house as well, but it's going to be a rental. We're not going to sell it. We're going to rent it out. But we want to show the community that we're putting our dollars where our mouth is. You see what I'm saying? So we'll be coming in and doing that as well. You can pay attention. A budget. Everybody know a budget. You got the SMART acronym is too easy. All right. I'm not going to read the slides. I know everybody can read the slides, but you got to make it specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and it has to be a time bound on it. Now let's talk about this for a second. A lot of people make a lot of goals and a lot of budget. I don't like to call it budget. Budget to me, when I was coming up, or when I was in the military, it has like I got work to do. Anybody else feel like that? Like you was coming up, I got work to do. So you know what I call it? I twisted it around and I call it cash flow. Because you would be about your cash flow. Your cash flow together? You got your cash flow in order? That's the difference. And why do I say that? It's because that's what the business talk about. I've been studying business for the last 4 years. I graduated cum laude at Polk State and now I'm at Florida Southern. But it's not about it's about there you go. But what I'm telling you is the businesses, they all have to manage their cash flow. If you are making revenue, listen to what I'm about to tell you. If you're making revenue and your cash flow is not coming in a timely manner, you will go insolvent. What that means? You will go bankrupt. Because you got too many people owing you money. So it's about cash flow, to put a twist on it. And here's why I put a twist on it. It's because when we present it to the youth, they don't want to hear nothing that has a negative connotation to it. And they already attached that to budget. I talk to them all the time. So you tell them, hey man, you got cash flow? You handling your cash flow? This is why most parents can't connect to the kids, but then I come in and I can connect to them. Because I don't get on their level, I just go to Kentucky Fried Chicken. Let me give you an example. Get a 2-piece and snack, get some gravy, come home. My wife never knows. She think I cooked it. I put it on a nice bread. You see what I'm saying? But do you understand what I'm saying? There's a little humor there. There's a little humor there. But at the same time, what I'm telling you is how you spread it out to the youth. And I'm going to say a lot about the youth, but I know it's for you also. It's how you deliver it to them. And that's why I have a good track record of being able to talk to the youth and talk to them about cash flow and move them in the right direction. A budget, we kind of talked about that. I'm not going to berate you with all that. Cash flow, that's what I like to look at it as, because we own several single family homes and we have to control our cash flow. So we have been doing this she's been doing it since 1999. She's been a homeowner since 1999. And
what about us?
What about us? Has been doing this since 2004. All right, don't slip on me. What about us? Stay alert?
Stay alive.
All right. Keystone habits is what's going to make your budget stick. Your budget has to have what we call keystone habits. What is RAS? All y'all know what it is when I tell you. Reticular activated system, right? It's like when you I bought a Cadillac truck, right? And then I saw a red Cadillac truck everywhere I went. Because you can remember it now. Because you have it. Your cognitive processing, your thinking never thought about that before. This is how you got to approach the cash flow budget by Radford Homes. Approach it in a way that is favorable on your behalf. Meaning inculcate it, accept it, take it in as something that's ownership. And when you put ownership with it, the youth can latch on to that. They understand ownership. You give them $100, and I say, hey, you got $100. What you gonna do with that shit? I'm out of here. Let me finish talking to you first. But they have something in their possession. Not saying it has to be monetary gain either. It could be something that when you give them a scholarship to go to school, which Radford Home does at Polk State basketball. We give scholarship to them. 17% of what you do in your cognitive thinking, all right, is not really the whole matter of it. Your unconscious mind is 83%. So that's why we got to attach this budget to something that shows a sense of pride, cohesiveness amongst yourself, not amongst anyone else. It has to be amongst you, because you're going to repel a budget that you don't like. What's the best budget in the world? I know somebody knows it. What's the best budget in the world? I'm going to tell you.
Okay.
One that you would implement and you would use. That's the best budget in the world. If you can have the best budget in the world and you don't use it, it's no good to you. It's no good to our youth if they don't have a budget and they can't use. That's why I came up with the cash flow budget by Radford. Get clarity and keep your budget top of mind. What I mean by top of mind, think about it. Think about your budget. Put it in a place where you can see your budget when you're moving through your house.
What about us?
We have in our house different signs around the house. Now, a good thing to start with, we have a lot of scriptures around our house in certain areas. And I ain't talking about the ones just pictures. They've been printed out and they've been put up there. Okay? Iron sharpened iron is one of the ones I really like. You got to get in the vicinity where somebody is doing something that is cohesive, that is smart, that is intelligent, that is bringing up the community. You got to surround yourself with like-minded people and sow the sense. Y'all feel me? Mm-hmm. All right. Process of collecting and managing cash. It's pretty simple flow, but if you don't understand the intricacies of cash flow, it won't be pretty simple. It's basic to some, and remember this, everybody has a level. Okay? You might think that you're on your level right now and nobody understands your level. Okay? But they do. Then there's another level. Let's use me for an example. A level of owning several single family homes, even some that's out of state of Florida. But then there's some people like Walmart. They have a whole nother level. Okay? Your level is just as superior or far supersedes Walmart or any other conglomerate. Because you're special. We've been made wonderfully, right? So think about that and start utilizing your money in a sense that will help you and your family, and as well as your community. Use milestones. Here's what I mean by milestones. It creates a win-win. In the military, I was a drill sergeant from 1999 to 2001. And when we were on a road march, we had a milestone every 3 miles. We was going on a 12-mile road march. And every 3 miles, we would gather up, take a break, take a knee, drink water, ask everybody, re-strap their load on, make sure it's comfortable, it's not falling off on you, and then we would continue to march. That creates a sense of teamwork. It creates a sense of pride that we can keep moving as a what? A unit. And if you're moving as a unit, that's why I'm standing before you, because it's not about I, it's about us. We can do wonderful things in Bartow, and that is a goal and a dream of ours. We are victory, not victims. So if you've been in a situation where you didn't think you can possibly own a house or anything, don't think that anymore. All you need to do is get with somebody who does understand, Natalie or Radford Homes, and we can help you out. We can show you how to move. Liquid assets property. Now they're talking about, what are they talking about, Andrew, when they say liquid assets property? I know you're going to get, what do you think they're talking about?
What is that?
Liquid assets property.
Property.
Not sure.
You can read the screen.
I read it. No. Liquid savings in household has to cover the basic expenses.
Okay, what they're talking about here, thank you, Angie, I appreciate that. Not to put you on the spot, but I'm gonna come around. I'm gonna get some of y'all also. Okay, not in a bad way, but just to get y'all interacting. It's not gonna be what we call a linear conversation. I'm gonna send it out, you're gonna interpret it, and you're gonna send it right back to me. All right? 90 days. We want to try to start somewhere. Dave Ramsey says that you get what, $1,000 as an emergency fund. Okay, that's great. I like that. Radford Homes said get a $1,000 emergency fund. If you can't get a $1,000 emergency fund, start with 100. You got to start somewhere, right? You got to start somewhere. So that's what we're talking about there. But once you get a nice cushion, I like to call it a cushion, 90-day fund, you can get out of what they call liquid asset property. Now, what is liquid? Liquidity is how you can readily assess your cash quickly. Okay, you got your money in the bank, then you got emergency, you can go there and get your cash and you can keep moving along. But if you got it tied up in some of them houses, then I gotta wait a little while. I gotta go sell that house, or I gotta try to get a HELOC on that house or whatever to extrapolate some of the finance that's inside of the house. And that's not liquid, okay? Spend less than you earn, delayed gratification, and give intelligently. That's important. Listen to what I'm saying when I say give intelligently. You have to give intelligently. Go ahead and hit it for me on Tyrone.
I have a real quick question. You
Yes.
said a HELOC. That is a home equity line of credit?
Yes.
Thank you,
That is
sir.
I like that. Thank you. That's what I'm talking about. Tyrone and me, we met yesterday. We're going to do some work together as well. But giving intelligently. And we already know if you're sowing in the background, there's no return on that, right? So understand, for many years, I gave unintelligently. But now I'm walking in a different light, so I'm starting to give intelligently. Giving intelligent is having somebody in a scholarship at Post State. Giving intelligent is coming here today and giving back something pro bono, no charge or whatever. And then moving forward again if somebody called me and to help out my community. That's intelligent giving. It does not have to be tied to monetary values. It does not have to be tied to monetary values. We talked about our well-stocked, well, we talked about 90 days, same thing here. Well-stocked mutual funds, what I'm talking about. Well-stocked emergency fund, but I don't like to call them emergency because we already know that emergency or something is going to happen in our life of financial. We know that we're going to have a flat tire sooner or later. Now, who in here has never had a flat tire in their life? All right, now, here's what I want to talk to you about. If you have a flat tire and you don't have anything in your bank account, you're on your way to work, you have to pick up your child from the daycare, you're already running late, a flat tire can throw your whole year off. Now, you don't believe that? Okay, you're running late. You done ran late too many times because other things didn't happen because your car couldn't run. Now you got a flat tire and they fire you from your job. There is what we call a trickle-down effect from not having a secure amount of reserves put away. And once we can put that away, it gives you comfort. And what's better than comfort? You have the affordability to go out and to give intelligent to children, scholarships, or whatnot. You understand what I'm saying? Y'all tracking with me?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
All right?
I got a question.
Yes.
Brother Radford. So what you're saying is delayed gratification, whatever it is that may satisfy us for the time, if we take that money and put it back into this fund, this emergency fund, then when something comes up down the road, then we will be gratified because we deal with that situation right then and not have to go in the hole.
Spot on.
All right.
Now, basically what he just said in a nutshell, if he get a flat tire in his truck that he got out there, he got a nice truck too, I like it. If he get a flat tire in that truck, he call his insurance, roadside assistance, and he keep on moving, and nothing happened. But remember, I told you there's different levels, okay? You at that level, you might not be that level right now, but I'm talking to the youth so we can empower them and tell them how they need to set up stuff in the future. Flat tire don't mean nothing to nobody if they got it all together. But if you don't have it all together, a flat tire can ruin your year. You could get fired and anything. You can't get your child on time, the whole 9 yards. So that's what I'm talking about.
What about us?
Okay, so I used to use cash advance places like Amscot writing checks. I did that in the military. Now you said, what about us? What about you? That's a rhetorical question. You don't need to answer that, okay? That's a rhetorical question, okay? Don't answer it. But I used to go there. We need to get you out of that system. And if we can get you out of that system, see, when you're in that system, you're in what we call the rat race of having to float a check, okay? If we can get you to go, some people say paycheck to paycheck is bad. No, I don't think it's bad. If I could go from the 1st to the 15th, now some of you might go from the 1st to the 7th because you get paid what? Weekly. All right, you get paid 52 times a week. Pretty easy, right? If I can go from the 1st to the 7th, that's good. That's what you call a small win. So you need to look at that. You might not have very much, put it to the side at this point in time, but you can make it from paycheck to paycheck. That's not a bad thing, because if you can't make it from paycheck to paycheck, you're going to Amscot and the interest rate is pretty high. Okay, it's pretty high. And even if you think it's not that high, it's better to have a reserve of your own money and not pay interest on it at all, right? Mm-hmm. It's better to have your own money in a money market account to where you're earning a little bit more than a regular savings account, okay? So when you think of it in that term, you think of you having to pay them interest, and then you have your money in a money market. Here's what you got. You got a spread that's in between. You're paying them interest for something, and then you could be earning money in a money market. You could be earning money in here. So then you got a big spread right there. So you got to equate all that. All that is a part of the equation. You take you subtract 7 from this side, when you bring it over here past the equals, you got to what? You got to add it to the other side. So you got to think of it that way. You got to think of, when you're using finance, holistically. Holistically. They're getting a spread, you could be using that money to do something else. What's up, Brother Seth?
What is a common word that's for places like Amscot that everybody can understand? Y'all know what it is?
Predatory lending?
Loan shark.
Loan shark, okay.
Legalized loan shark.
Legalized loan shark, all right.
That's what it is.
Limited beliefs. That's another thing I want to talk about, but I'm going to hit on one thing. I'm not going to read the slide. Here's what I want to hit on. Action kills what? Limited beliefs or nervousness. I just got through talking, or I just got through going to attending an IRA. How do you invest in real estate with IRAs in Tampa on the Invest Florida show? Now, I was nervous as all get out to go over there, right? But my wife told me to reach out to them, send them your bio. You got a good bio, Greg, send it to them. And they called me and said, yes, we want you to come to the show. That show is broadcasted globally. The guy, one of the guys who run it, he's from South Africa. Take the liberty to Google it. And remember, Google's your friend and Siri's your friend. Don't take what face value or what somebody tell you, because that ain't about nothing. You could be Googling it. If I'm telling you something, Google it, because I might be wrong. But in the time that you have fear, you need to move forward. I was very apprehensive about moving forward to that radio show that's broadcast globally. You got brokers, you got multimillionaires. But when I went over there, it went great. You know why? Because there's only one Gregory Radford. And there's only one you. So you have something that you can take and propel to the next level, no matter where you are. You got to have confidence. Veterans. I'm going to talk to you about veterans benefits. Let me go back for a second. In this picture right here, I got this picture here because I want you to compare and contrast. I want you to compare and contrast that picture. Veterans, they show up, rain, snow, sleet, the whole 9 yards. And then they show up again when it's bright and sunny and beautiful outside. That's why I have a special place in my heart for veterans. It's not because I'm a veteran. I know what it feels like to walk in those boots. All right? So I'm going to hit some things on here for you. Elders, I call it the A&A. You can receive between $1,000 and $2,000. $1,000, $1,700, $2,000, just depending on who's elder, who's your senior in your family. They have programs out there. You're not tapping them. I'll tell you something. Radford Homes don't leave a benefit that I could turn on the table. I'm not going to do nothing and put myself in the gray area or be wrong, but if they're telling me they're going to give me something because of something I did and put my life on the line defending the Constitution of the United States of America against all enemies, foreign and domestic, I have to be educated enough to use my benefits as I move forward.
Is it a time thing?
Certain time, GI Bill, you have 15 years, but we can get around that though. Talk to me offline. Caregiver. My sister, Aldora, is the benevolent one of the family, and she took care of my grandmother, Miss Mattie Boyd, and she took care of my mother, Maisie Lee Nelson. She was the benevolent one. Now, if you are taking care of somebody who's a veteran, you will be compensated for that. And I think it's upwards of $2,000. But you have to have things in place. But some people don't know about this. So if you have anybody that's in your family that's a veteran, served in Vietnam, World War II, if they're still living, or whatnot, even now, the Iraqi war, anything, Afghanistan, you need to talk to me. Or take the liberty and look it up. GI Bill, you got to use it. You only have so much time, you got to use your GI Bill. I'm using it right now. I finished up at Polk State, and now I'm currently at Florida Southern College. Florida Southern College is an expensive college. How many of y'all know this? The Florida Southern College costs over $30,000 a year? It does. The GI Bill, I'm not telling you that to tell you that I'm so great. It ain't about me. It's about us, right? You can use that, and then the relationship that you build when you're at Florida Southern College is instrumental. See, I can talk. So I go to every meeting and meet group, anything they're having, they don't have to tell me about it because I'm looking to see when they're having it. So when I go in and I'm passing out my business card, talking to them, and most of the time they ask me, can we hire you? And I say, well, I got Radford Homes. I'm trying to be an entrepreneur and leave something to my children's children, because that's what a good man do, right? So that's what I'm trying to do. 9/11, same thing right here. If you served in after September 11th, right? You can use another program. It's another program that's out there that has to do with after 9/11 if you serve. And it has to be an aggregate of 90 days or more. Now, at the bottom here, $1,486.73. Well, that's what they paid me for going to Florida Southern College. They paid that. Then they paid the $30,000 tuition. Then they paid for the books. Then they paid for stipends for me to buy pen and paper. Then they paid for my parking. And when I couldn't pass accounting, it's not that I couldn't pass it, when I had trouble and I made a failing grade on the first exam, they hired me a personal tutor. And I made a B in the class when I left Polk State. And I only made about 1 or 2 B's, because to graduate cum laude, you can't have no B's in your system. So, but I'm telling you to say how good the benefit is for veterans. It's not about me, it's about us. You got to tap into your benefits. Online presence, you need an online digital footprint. E-benefits, E-healthy vet, you can see everything online. You don't know how to set up? come talk to me. I'll show you how to set up. Make sure you got your DD-214. Maintain a copy of all your military records. Business owner. SCORE is a program that is offered to business owners and entrepreneurs and veterans in Lakeland, Florida. Check it out. If you want to know something about real estate, they pair you up with somebody to teach you real estate. If you want to know something about becoming a lawyer or attorney, they pair you up with a lawyer or attorney. If you want to know something about real estate, they pair you up with somebody who's doing real estate. And it's all pro bono. You already earned it. You got to tap into it. Boost the business. They help you out with this thing. But this is what I like right here. Street shares, 5,000 to 100,000. Now it's a little bit higher, but it's 10 years ago that wasn't high, 8%. Right now you can probably get a house at 4%. But they'll give you a loan. Now here's the deal with Gregory Radford. I'm gonna make that 8% work for me. Why? Because of the spread. I'm gonna buy me a single family house or a multi-family, currently looking for a multi-family deal between 10 and 20 units. I'm gonna buy that, get that, let's just say, just using this as an example, I'm gonna buy that, maybe I get 8% interest, but then I'm gonna get a spread after I pay my mortgage, insurance, and taxes. Let's say I have it for $1,000 a month, but I'm gonna rent it for $1,300. That spread is $300 in between. And all I'm doing is using my mind to get it together. Now there's gonna be some things that come up and you gotta put mitigation, you gotta mitigate the risk. But you can see the spread. They'll help you with that, veterans. Death benefits. It's gonna happen. Pray, and that's all we can do about that. But if you have anybody in your family that is in the military, have served in our armed forces, you don't really have to pay for all of their benefits. If you have the proper documents, you have the DD-214, when they get ready to be laid to rest, they give you a gravesite, okay? They give you a headstone, okay? They give this to you, but you got to have your paperwork and your documents in order. Arlington Cemetery, the phone number is on there. That is where Gregory Radford will be laid. I want to be laid in Arlington Cemetery with my battle buddies who I went to war with, some I lost and whatnot. I want to be with them, all right? And they keep it manicured. It's pristine, fine, manicured, every day, all day. And that's where I will be laid to rest. Now, if y'all see me in Bartow, y'all need to come and talk. Right? I'm serious now. Work with me. If you see me in Bartow, you know she took that nice. Speaking of that, I just put in another. I call it an intermediary between me, my wife, and if I was to leave. If I was to leave here, my wife's lifestyle may change because of my financial wherewithal. Okay, so guess what we did? I went and got me another insurance policy for $500,000. So if I do leave here, I just did this last week. Now here's the thing why I'm telling you about this. You get a free checkup all the way across the board. They come to your house, they do all your blood, they tell you do your HIV, they do everything. You think you get a good checkup when you go to your regular doctor? No. You know why they do that? Because they're investing in you. They're investing in you. I told the lady, I said, you want to know an awful lot. She said, that's right. She said, Northwest Mutual got a lot of money. You got $500,000 for your wife. And it's not very much. You got to think about that. Put those things in place. Because I thought about it. I said, I got to take care of her. All right? Then we got a will, we notarized, but now we're going to an attorney because we have properties. And I don't want the properties to go to the wrong people. I might not want the person who's over it to have it. So I got to go to an attorney so I can get my estate right. Because Radford Homes plan to be here, just like you plan to be here, right? Intentional. Questions. Intentional. If every day if you wake up and you do one thing to move the needle to the right, you will get at the end of the year and you will be surprised at how far you have came from incremental steps. One thing a day. Instead of turning on the radio when you get in your car, do one thing for your financial life. Call a credit card company. Ask them, can they lower your APR, your annual percentage rate? Call your mortgage company and ask them, can they lower your APR? They're probably going to tell you no, but you still call it because what's going to happen after a while? That reticular activating system is going to start to kick in. It's gonna start to kick in. Every time you get in the car, when I get into my car, it's not about me, it's about us. But when we get into our car, the first thing I think is, go to work. I'm serious. I go to work when I get in that car. I'm talking, I be hitting them. What about this? What you got this? I call them and say, hey, did anything change? No, it ain't nothing changed, Mr. Radford. You just called yesterday. I'm serious though. I'm dead serious. Am I serious? My wife kind of say, hey, today, hey, we chilling. Credit. Who in here got a 740 credit score? Raise your hand. Everybody raise your hand. Everybody raise your hand. And if you don't have it, you will have it because your credit starts over every 7 years as long as you don't continue to mess it up.
That's right.
It starts, so it's forgiven every 7 years. Just like land and I ain't gonna go there. Every 7 years, something else happens. Y'all know? Seth, you know, don't you? Be proactive with your credit. Be proactive. Don't be reactive. When you get in your car, the first 15 minutes is designated not to the radio, designated not to the phone, talking to your friends. It's designated to doing something so you can be an informed consumer credit. A consumer person that's going to consume credit. You need to get yourself in what we call the know. All right? Fraud. You got to look out for that. How you going to look out for that if you don't know it? That's why I'm trying to teach this thing everywhere I can teach it. I hope somebody call me tomorrow and say, I got another one set up for you. All right? I'm just going to have some of y'all meet here a little early to help us out. You got to dispute any inaccuracies. A lot of the credit bureaus are wrong. Okay? A lot of them are inaccurate. Okay? Go back one. Debit cards, 69 billion. Credit cards, 33. Because some people think they can't get credit. Some people think that they can't get it, but you can get it. What's the benefit of having a credit card over a debit card? And what's the and compare the other one? Somebody give me an example. What?
I'm gonna say OPM, other people's money.
Okay, other people's money. Who don't like to use other people's money? Like to use debit. So, okay, I like to use debit. Just use me for example. Then it's quick. It's there. I'm not in any debt. But let me tell you one thing that is good. If you get to the level where you can handle this responsibly, you have an intermediary between you and the transaction, between you and Walmart. And the credit card serves as a fiduciary responsibility on your behalf, kind of like an intermediary. We just went to Miami, and they double charged our card. I started off with one card, but when I checked out, I said, let me use another card. So they charged my card. So when I called my credit card company, they said, oh, don't worry about it. We're just going to reject it, and we'll put it back. Now, had that been my debit, it would have been a long uphill battle. I'm not even worried about that now. Because they say, Mr. Radford, we're just going to take it off there because I sent them the Chase bill. I put it on Radford Home's business account, Chase bill. And they refunded it right back. Can't do that if you had debit card. Installment and revolving. What is installment loan? Right here, what's installment loan? You don't know? What's installment loan? Okay.
Car loan.
Payments over time, car payment, that's right. Payments over time. Payments that are spread out, there has to be more than what? One. So if you got an installment loan with Amscott, let's try to work that and get that thing out of there. Okay, let's end that. Let's bring that to a finish. All right? Revolving credit is what? It happens over and over. You can reuse after you spend, which is known as a credit card. Why do I speak about credit cards a lot? Because it's easily accessible and people get into a lot of credit card debt. You're not going to go get into a lot of house debt because you got to go through underwriting and the whole 9 yards. But you can get that thing in the mail and go, hey, I'm out of here. Okay, so we got to stop that. Adverse action. The credit card companies. I'm talking about the credit card companies. If your credit card goes dormant for a while, guess what they're going to do? They're going to cut it off because you are not what? You're not generating a profit for them. Okay? If you're not generating a profit, then they're going to cut you off. Chasing the balance. What do you think chasing the balance? Anybody know what chasing the balance is? Chasing the balance is when you have done something on your credit. For example, A, B, and C. I'm not going to mess up Chase, but I'm going to let Bank of America credit card go, and I'm going to let Wells Fargo credit card go. So Chase look in there and look on your credit report because they can do that. You don't know that because you don't know the law, but they can look in that because you got their credit card. then they can do what they can do this, chase the balance every time you pay it. You have a $10,000 credit card, you go in there and pay $5,000, now you have a $5,000 limit credit card because they're chasing the balance for what you didn't take care of on B and C. Because they can look at your credit. It's called chasing the balance. Because they don't want you to have it because you have showed irresponsibility or not responsible to can maintain. You take care of A, but you ain't taking care of B and C. So they chase the balance. They can reduce your limits abruptly like that. They got 45 days to send it to you in the mail. You will never know. When you're traveling abroad, me and my wife travel abroad all the time. Okay? All the time. The next trip is San Francisco in June, July, August for the 2nd anniversary. And then the next trip is Dubai. Already paid, done, completely. Not telling you to brag about that. Here's what I'm telling you. If you got a credit card and you go outside the United States, even if you tell them, hey, I'm calling you to let you know I'm going to Dubai. When you get over there and you start swiping that card a lot, what they're going to do to it? They're going to cut it off. So you need to travel, when you travel abroad, you need to travel with more than one credit card. You need to have 2 or 3 credit cards. That's what I think. Now, I ain't telling you to go get 2 or 3 credit cards. Don't do that. This is what I'm telling you. When you're traveling, I got to protect my family. I'm the vessel of my household. All right? I'm the one they look to for, hey, how this thing going? As long as I'm leading correctly, they're supposed to look at me. Okay? But you got to think about that. So make sure you have some kind of other card in place if you travel abroad. That's real big because I'm telling you, I've been abroad. I've been to many places.
And some cash.
And some cash. That's right. Have some cash at all times. I would tell you something, but I ain't going to go there, okay? Business credit. Let me talk to you about business.
I want a question.
Yes.
On the dormancy, are you saying pay them off and let them go? Or
No. Dormancy. This is what I mean by great question. I thank you for that question. If your credit card is inactive, that means it's lying dormant. You're not using it. So you're not a benefit to the credit card company. The credit card don't give you a credit card just to look good. They want to make some money off you. And every time you go to Walmart, there's an interchange fee. An interchange fee. Anybody know what an interchange fee is? An interchange fee is when you go to the POS, point of station at Walmart, when you get ready to check out the cashier, that's a POS, what you swipe, point of station. And you swipe that Visa card, Walmart is paying Visa a fee for that. It's a small fee, but it's a fee. Now, that also happened in reverse. When you have what we call a captured audience, and your business is thriving, booming, doing great, you can then charge Visa, MasterCard, Discovery, an interchange fee to use in your store because they want that money. If you're not producing revenue for the credit card company, they don't really want you. It goes without saying. Next thing I want to talk about the range business credit score. Here's why I want to talk about this business credit score. I want y'all to pay attention to this. I'm going to go one step ahead. I'm going to come back to this. If you have detail and clean, Craigslist, eBay, single family residence, then you have a what? You have a business. That's right. You need to treat it as such. You have a business. So let's go back. You have a business. Business credit does not show on your personal credit. So if you're braiding people's hair or cutting people's hair, go ahead and get your stuff together. Get your EIN, okay, and move forward. So that way you can get the fruits of your labor and get things written off. You cannot write off credit card interest rate. But if it's a business credit card, that Platinum American Express that me and my wife have, we get to write it off. Okay? Now, we don't have no interest. Thank goodness that we don't have that. We don't have no interest because we pay our bill off in what? In full every month. But that's something to think about. At age, you got to be 21 years of age right now to get a credit card, unless you were working or your parents signed for you. That act came out in 2009, May, by President Obama. Okay? That was the new act, the latest act. Public, I said, it doesn't show on your personal credit card. So, here's why I'm telling you if you got a business, because you're going to be running up that credit card utilization rate. The credit card utilization rate is going to be going sky high because you're steady swiping stuff for your business. Because you're trying to make it work. But if it's on that business side, you don't have to worry about that. Now, you do serve as the guarantor of that business card if it goes into default. And then it will go on your credit. I can guarantee it. Okay? But listen to what I'm telling you. It's nowhere on your personal credit. so you can continue to march without hurting yourself. Your business has to be separated from your personal credit. And a lot of you have businesses, but you're not using it as so. That's what I got to get to the youth about. They mow yards, they do car detailing. I got to talk to them. They do hair. I got to get them. We got to get them. I got to get them or what?
What about us?
So you got a fiduciary responsibility as well.
I have a question, Rick.
Yes.
On the college students, when they first leave high school and go to college, right then they get bombarded with credit cards. Now I didn't go too far in college,
Yeah.
but
I'm gonna get you on that.
you see
Hold
what I'm
on.
saying?
Yeah, I'm gonna
And that's a predatory type deal too, because they're really not responsible yet to be able to handle that.
All right. Speaking of that, you're getting a little ahead of me, but I like that. He's on it. All right. So we talked about that. Listen to this. Course correct. There's gonna be times that you're gonna fall or you're gonna fail. That's okay. If you're not trying hard enough, if you're not failing at something, you're not trying hard enough. You got to keep pushing. I'm telling you, I call them people till they tell me no. I have to get a no. She knows it. I didn't get a no today. Let me go. It's 9:30. I gotta get a no. I need to get one no every day. This is real talk. No sugarcoat. If you know me, ask my sister Loretta. She know. Am I right, Loretta?
100%.
They don't want to deal. They don't want to deal with me. They don't want to deal with me. But well, they do want to deal with me. But they know that I'm gonna come correct when it comes to about that money because I gotta give intelligently. All right. Course correction. Our airplane is always making adjustments. So why not you? Airplane is always making adjustments. When it's flying, it's steady making adjustments. And if it does not, it will be miles off its target. Miles. All right, here's credit card. I'm going to teach you something real quick. Who know what a CVV means? That's a card verification value. It's on the back of your credit card. It's them 3 numbers they ask you when you be buying stuff online. They want to see if you got that number, right? That's a card verification value. And then you got card verification code. Then you got CVV2. That is a fictitious dummy card, so when you're using it online, that the hackers, they can't get you, okay? Take the liberty to look it up, okay? They also have an international card value, ICCV, okay? Paying at pump. Try not to pay at a pump. On the Discovery card and the American Express, it's called Card Member ID. The 4 letters are on the front of American Express, and on Discovery, it's called Card Member ID. They call it CID. So now you know what that is for. That is very instrumental in when somebody gets your stuff, this fraudulent activities that's about to transpire. Okay? How do you defeat that? Okay, well, check it out. Radford Homes, we got a credit card. When we go out to eat, we scratch that off. Them 3 numbers are paramount for a hacker, for a fraudulent, for a criminal. I don't give that card to the people at the waiting. I don't give them my card that has my CID or my card verification code. I give them the one that I already got scratched out. And if you can't scratch it out, tape it up. First put glue in to fill in the braille or whatever, the indentions, and then put tape over it. They can't never use your card. They just practicing. That's a lined up protection.
Is it on there then?
It's on there because,
What do they tell you?
okay, it's on there because it has to be on there because that is supposed to be a fraud prevention thing. And if that thing is not directly correlated to your address and your information, then it's going to cease it. It's going to stop it right there. It's going to kill it. It's supposed to be for protection, but hackers are smart. If they hack Target, you know they can hack anything else, right? That's a multi-million-dollar deal.
What about if you have a card and you're using it online and sometimes it says optional? What does that mean?
I'm not sure about that.
They
Right
want,
off.
they want you to put it in or not. You don't have to really.
Oh, the three.
If they ever ask you that it's optional to
By
put
law, it
it in,
has to be optional because they can't, by law, tell
Make-
you to give up that level of personal information. That's what that is. So if you choose to do that, then you choose to.
yeah, you can turn it down on the phone. Anybody, and that's what I'm going to get to.
Yeah, that's what
Listen to what I'm going to tell you. Anybody try to ask you for your information over the phone, don't give it to them.
3 letters.
But if you're buying something, then you're gonna have to give it to them. Okay, and then there's an intermediary between you and whoever that's on that phone, and that is your credit card company. That's why credit has a plus. because there's an intermediary. If you have your debit card, there's no intermediary there. There's no middle person. See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Okay? But you're going to have to give it to them. But if something is wrong, it doesn't hit your credit card simultaneously. It laggers for a couple of days. And you can call back and say, hey, cancel that. They can do that in the middle of that. Just take the liberty to check it out. I'll get more into it.
So no pump pay with credit card or debit card?
I ain't saying, I'm telling you, I advise you don't pay at pump because they have scams. They have card readers at the pump. So why pay at the pump? If you're too lazy to go in there to pay for your gas, then when you get your card taken, that's on you. I'm telling you, they have, especially the pump that's farthest away. You want to avoid the pump that's farthest away because most of the time it has a reader on it. So go in the store. Or just don't get gas.
Or if you're gonna pay at the pump, especially don't use your debit card. See, that's coming directly out. They're gonna
Bill,
wipe
yeah.
your account out.
Then, there you go.
You gotta get back on the credit card.
So, there you go. Thank you. All right, money. Money serves as a medium of exchange, a store of value, and a unit of account. What's medium of exchange? I go to Walmart, I give them some money, they give me a product, I walk out. I go to Walmart, I stick it in my pants, I walk out, they put me in handcuffs. Does not work. All right? And if they don't see you, the good man upstairs will see you. A store of value. What's a store of value? Okay, commodities. You put it in gold, silver, whatever. And then what's unit of account? If you go to Publix, you'll see they sell things by the pound or unit or whatever. That's where it's too easy, right? Intentional, once a day, will move the bell curve to the right. You've been a great audience, and I'm loving teaching y'all. So, Federal Credit Union, I'm going to speed it up a little bit. There are three of them, but there's also one more. Anybody tell me the fourth one? Go ahead and think about it. You got Experian. They made $4.5 billion in 2015. Equifax made $3.1 billion. TransUnion made $1.7 billion. Their transactions are 600 million files. Check this out. Equifax is in where? Atlanta, Georgia. Okay? TransUnion is where? No. Keep going. Chicago. And Experian is where? Dublin, Ireland, with a headquarters in California. What I'm telling you this is because they make money, they're for profit. They give you a free credit report every year. You earned it, get it. Here's what I'm going to talk to you about. You don't want bill collectors calling you? You can stop all that. You don't have to have them call you. You go to this right here. Do not call.gov. They'll stop calling. Or solicitors. Solicitors start calling you 888-382-1222. They will stop calling you because you will remove yourself. Okay? You'll remove yourself. You can see on there, 88 million was recovered from AT&T. So you got to look at your bank accounts. You got to look at your statements that come in. You got to be intentional about your financial life. You got to be intentional. Just like you got to be intentional about non-monetary things. You got to be intentional. Okay? So if you don't want nobody to call you, you call that number and follow the prompt. Next thing is, if you be getting credit cards that come in the mail all the time, you can stop that right now. First of all, you need to do this. If you haven't done this, you need to do it. Because you can get a credit card whenever you want one by calling the credit card company and saying, I want a credit card. You need to stop this because they're selling your information off to, I don't have time to go into it, but Radford Homes wants to get, let's do it quick. Radford Homes wants to get 5,000 credit scores between 720 and 725. So I talk to the credit bureaus and then I get so many numbers that I need. So I buy so many and then I send out a mailing thing. It's called direct mail. And they're gonna get, now they have this thing niched down to the demographic and the income area of where they want to target the location. They got it so good they can just do West Bartow, not East Side and everything. And then they only want to get 5,000, so they might send out 45,000. You see what I'm saying? So they're selling your information. So you need to call and you need to get out of that. There's no reason why you should be giving them free will to sell your information. You got to get rid of them. It's also at optoutprescreen.com. 888-5-OPT-OUT. And that's under the Fair Credit Reporting Act. Opt out for your children. If your children are under the age of 13, Get them out of there, but you got to do it by mail. Fraudsters like to go after people that's younger, and they like to go after people who are deceased. So you got to check it out. You need to get them out of there. If somebody's deceased, get them out of there. Because here's what happened. If you are a junior, like Seth is, that thing has a trickle-down effect. It has a trickle-down effect, something terrible. Because you'll be trying to mess up, correct all the mistakes that the senior did, or the second, or the third, or the fourth. Okay? And Novus is the fourth credit bureau. Fourth one. They handle mainly what? Insurance. Okay, when they're going to be checking you out for insurance, you call to get the car insurance, that's most likely who's going to be pulling you. It might be others, but that's who's going to be working with you. So opt out for your children, 13 and under. If they 14, you don't have to do, you just call and opt them out the same way. Use their social security number. They should be opt out because that's why they're getting the credit card offers. They're coming into college. So when your kid go off to college, they're getting the credit card offers. You don't even tell them. You opt them out, but you're supposed to tell them. You opt them out of there. Yes.
I think in the old days, I'm not sure, you can Google it, but opt-out also could raise your credit score because you're not at risk anymore to be getting a lot of credit cards.
Come on, y'all. That's why I'm trying to bring this to you. That's why we bringing this to you. You got to do it. What's in the credit report? Okay, self-explanatory. But what I'm going to hit on is everything on your credit report. You got a house, a car, and a credit card. Then you have three what? Trade lines. They're called trade lines. You don't have a house and a car, whatever. When a creditor look at you, they're gonna see, oh, he has established 15 trade lines, and 15 are congruent with what we like to see. Let's give him a loan. Come on in here, Brother Radford. And that's how it works. Your trade lines. They're trade lines. All right? Next thing on there, you got inquiries. Don't get too bent out of inquiries. When you pull your own credit, it does not affect you none whatsoever on the inquiry side of the house. Now, when you go to a depository institution, better known as a bank or a financial institution, then they do a pull on you. That's what we call a hard pull. That's going to knock you down maybe between 2 and 10 points. So you don't want to be repeatedly doing that over and over. Okay? Now, here's another thing that most people are not aware of. Credit inquiries only stay on your consumer report for 24 months. This is a consumer report for 24 months. They only have an effect on you for 12 months. So if you got a bunch of them after 12 months, who cares? A lot of people get wrapped around, I want to get these inquiries off my credit. Don't worry about that.
Okay, thank you.
All right, here's the pie that's broken down. What's the most important part of the credit report when you look it up there? Don't do it, that's a trick question, don't answer it. All of it is. Just because one say 35%, one say 10, they all are just as equally important. Okay? Treat them like that. Credit utilization. You make sure if you have a credit card, and you have a $1,000 limit, right? You can really only use 30% of that credit card. Now, if you have multiple cards across an aggregate, then that might spread out and level you out some. Okay? But if you have a $1,000 credit card and you use 900 of it, you at 90% utilization rate. Your credit score will go south if that's your only credit card. I can guarantee you, because the bank, the financial institution, or the depository institution looks at you as someone who cannot handle credit proficiently. So, when you're leaving here, when you're intentional when you get in the phone, call them, actually raise your credit score, ask them to do a soft pull. They might do it. FICO score, that's what it stands for. Fair Isaac Corporation. Too easy. Credit scores. Everybody will be 760 and above. It ranges from 760 to 850 for FICO. Advantage has 501 to 990 or something like that. It's coming up. Vantage score. Vantage score was implemented because of the big three. They got together because they got tired of paying FICO royalties. So they implemented or inculcated their own score. But 90% of the people still use FICO because it's been around. Okay? There you go. Them different types of scores. And those are the numbers. Take the liberty, look them up. They could be dated, but that's what I had on my last bullet. Establishing credit. Get with you a depository institution and work with them. Okay? It's not all about your credit score. It encompasses holistically. Credit score is inside of the consumer report, so it's all there. Free annual report. Make sure you get it. Okay? Make sure you get that. And make sure you go to the right Credit Sesame and Credit Karma. I think that's what it is. But take the liberty and look it up. 2 for 1. Do not put 2 people on one line for one bill. It doesn't make no sense. Why would you co-sign? Why would both of y'all be on there? Here's the deal. Okay, well, that's my wife. I want to be on that loan. He might put me out the house. Okay, then you put her on the deed. You take the loan. Because if anything ever go crazy or go downturn, you got one person so y'all can continue to what? Y'all can continue to march. Don't give them 2 for 1. Throughout the credit industry and business industry, that is not a smart, prudent move. Okay, 2 for 1, I don't do it.
What if you're getting a vehicle, you need a co-signer like your husband?
Well, if you're getting a vehicle, you need a co-signer, and that's your husband, he's gonna look out for you, then that's what he's gonna do. I would correct their credit. I'm not gonna co-sign for Sabrina to get a vehicle. I will work with her, counsel her to get her credit in a good enough shape where she can stand on her own. What if something happened to me? Just like I just said, put a line of protection with $500,000 with Northwestern Mutual a couple of days ago. I want her to be able to stand on her own. I'll use Sabrina for example. When me and Sabrina got together, her credit score was low, in the 500s. Her credit score is well over 750 now. Because I know credit. It's not so much that I know credit, I don't, consistency and persistency. Continuous learning. Turn the TV off for a little while. All right?
I got a question.
Yes.
Greg. Tell us a little bit about the, I know what you're talking about, putting your husband or your wife on the deed, that quick claim deed. That's what you're talking about?
Okay.
So both of us don't go down at the same time.
Quick claim deed. All right. Listen. That's basically what I kind of said. If you got a loan, right? Instead of like me going down, both of us going down, if something happened, we all lose it, then she's just on the, as he just said, the deed of the house. But she has no fiduciary responsibility to the amortization of the note on the house. So we can continue to lockstep forward. Boom, we're walking. Now, sometimes they're going to say, well, they needed both of our incomes. It's always good to get 2 for 1. It's always good to get 2 for 1. Get it where you can make enough income, and speaking of income, stop just selling stuff, get a business. You selling stuff on Craigslist, that's a business. Turn it into it. There's power sellers on eBay. They make $100,000 a year doing nothing. You got to get creative. I'm gonna kind of move it for time, but this is the number right here where you can order all 3 of your credit reports. You don't have to talk to no one. You don't have to talk to anyone. You do it automated through the phone. If you live on 1234 Main Street, you type in 1234 Main Street, and then you continue to march. They're going to send you your hard copy in the mail in about 10 business days. And when you get that, you need to be calling Radford Homes, so Radford Homes can show you how we need to back up, look at it, and go forward and continue to march in the right direction of positivity. Fraud alert. Go paperless, because fraudsters like to steal identity by coming in and looking in your mailbox. I don't have no imported mail go to my home box. I have it go to my P.O. box because I have too much business and too many things coming to my house from all my rental properties and whatnot. Okay? If you get a fraud alert, they'll cover it for 90 days. They also do it up to 7 years. Now, here's another thing that's coming up. Did I pass by it? Let me see if I passed by it. Freeze. If you were trying to run Gregory Radford credit, you will just be exercising, playing around, practicing. Because you can't run it. I can't even run it. I have not a lock on my credit. The only thing that was sure is 100%, nothing is 100% sure, but 99.9% for your credit is to have a freeze on it. I can't get into my credit report. I have to pay $10 to get into it. All right? I got to pay $10 for each one. How many of you haven't let nobody run your credit in 5 years? How many of you have never let nobody run your credit in 4 years? 3 years? Okay, why would you have a lock? It should be a lock on your credit because you ain't using it. So why not put that barrier that's an intermediary between you and the hacker, the fraudster, the criminal? Okay, so we have a lock on our credit report. It's pretty simple. Take the liberty, Google it, look it up. Put a lock on it. Now here's what happens when you get taken or swindled by a fraudster. They put you on what they call a suckers list. It goes into a database, seriously. And then they repeatedly hit you and hit you and hit you because they already know that they can get money out of you. Okay? Family and friends are the closest ones that's going to, more than likely, they might hit you with fraud. You got to be aware of that. They're the ones who know your social security number. They're the ones who know that they've seen your credit card. I'm not saying all of them, but it does happen. It's pretty prevalent in the world of business and finance. Family members are the one. Most of the time it's somebody that they know. Okay? So think about that. Shoebox credit. Here's the deal. We can take your stuff and put it on a trade line and put it on your credit report. How do we do that? That's pretty simple. You pay light bill, you pay phone bill, you got things in your house. They take that, you got all the receipts. It's called shoebox credit. This is legal. If the bank don't administer it, they're outside the law, the rules and regulations of the law. It's ECOK Reg B. They can take it and put it on your credit. All right? So don't think that you don't have no credit, because we can take that credit card and that light bill and your rent, and they can make a trade line on your credit. So if you don't have no trade lines, you got 3 right there. Light bill, water bill, cable. That's 3 trade lines. You've been paying it for 2-3 years. Wow. These are the people who that cover the rules and regulations, put them in place. You can take the liberty, look them up. It's been great talking to you. I'm going to be bringing up somebody that is an expert in this field. He's been around in the mortgage business. He's going to tell you about some things.
I got to run.
Okay.
I neglected to say one thing, Greg.
Yes.
I mentioned that we were working on a program that has not been approved, but there are 2 houses that are currently being built in Bartow now. Keystone. Now, one thing I want to mention, Keystone offers up to $14,000 down payment assistance.
Y'all hear that? $14,000.
But the city of Bartow adds another $15,000 on top of that if you buy it either on Polk Street or Laurel Street. So that's potentially $29,000 down payment.
It's not in concrete yet. It's just still working.
Yeah,
Right?
that is done.
Okay, y'all hear that?
Another $15,000, so you need to talk to Keystone Challenge Fund in Lakeland. But only Bartow offers an additional $15,000. We're working on another program. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you. And remember this, what he just said. Keystone is different in different locations. Keystone and Lakeland might not have the same rules as Bartow. So be cognizant of that. And without further ado, Joe, good guy coming in, working alongside me, and hopefully we can get him to get y'all some of these houses that's coming up. Thank you, Joe.